Yo, this is Jay from Straight Smoke Gaming, and in today's video we're doing another off-season review. This time we have the NFC East. The NFC East, they got a lot of teams that have a pretty good following. You know, you got the Eagles, Giants, Commanders, Cowboys. So in these off-season videos, you pretty much take a look at the team, see what kind of ads they made, and I give them a projected record. The last one we did was the AFC North. That'll be linked down in the description. Go ahead and check that out. Starting off here, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. So the Eagles, they had a pretty good offseason, you know, key ads. They got Saquon Barkley, Devin White, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I gave them a projected record of 12-5. You know, the Eagles did not really lose much this offseason. You know, Kelsey, that's a lot. Fletcher Cox, that's a lot. But the defense is young. You know, they have Jordan Davis and who's the other guy they drafted? The other dude out of Georgia. They have two really good young defensive linemen. And then they had a really good offseason with ads. You know, you got Saquon Barkley. This team is known for running. And, you know, Saquon Barkley, he's one of the best. So that's a good counteract to the passing game. When you have Saquon Barkley on the ground, they still have a good offensive line. Devin White, one of the better linebackers in football. Linebacker was kind of a weak point for the Eagles last year, so they went ahead, got a stud there. And then C.J. Gardner-Johnson, one of the better safeties in the league. We all know secondary was a problem for the Eagles defense as well. And through the draft, they had a really good draft. You know, they got, I believe it was Quinyon Mitchell was the first round pick, or it was some defensive back. I'm pretty sure it was him though. They drafted Cooper DeJean. They just all around had a really good draft. They really, this offseason, they went after needs. So with that being said, I don't see why not the Eagles would have a bad season. You know, they kept Hurts, kept A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. They got better. They upgraded at the running back position. The line's still good. It might take a little bit of a hit because of no Kelsey. Line's still good. They still got their coach. That's the only thing I'm worried about is the head coach. I don't know if the head coach is the answer. But other than that, I think the Eagles have a very talented roster. I think they have a good enough offense and a good enough defense to definitely win the division, especially with the other teams in the division. Once we do the Cowboys, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about and where I have them at. And I'll explain to you why I have them there. So with that being said, next up we have the Dallas Cowboys. And, you know, key ads, they had Eric Kendricks, Ezekiel Elliott, Tyler Guyton. With that being said, I have them at a 10-7 record. Dallas Cowboys, you know, don't be wrong. They still have their main guys. They still got CD. They got Parsons. The secondary is still good. They still got Dak. They just didn't do enough to address their needs. You know, they did lose. They lost their starting center. They lost some people on the offensive line. They lost their defensive coordinator. So they do have a lot of losses. Let's go ahead and talk about the key ads real quick. Eric Kendricks, pretty good linebacker, underrated. You know, he gets the job done for you. I don't think he's going to go out there and be much of a difference maker, but he's definitely not a bad option. Ezekiel Elliott, same thing there. Not a difference maker at running back, but they needed a running back, so they went out. They got a serviceable running back. I think Ezekiel Elliott still has some juice left in the tank. He's just not your 3-down bell cow back. I could see him being used on like first and second down, and then a third long. They sub in Deuce Vaughn or Rico Dowdle, someone else that's a little bit better in the pass catching game. And then last key ad here was Tyler Guyton, their first round pick, offensive lineman. Like I was saying, they did have some losses to the offensive line, so they went ahead and addressed that through the draft. I just don't feel like they did enough. You know, they lost a lot of big names. It feels like the Cowboys are consistently a good team, but not good enough to get it done. And based on the ads that they made this offseason, I don't really know if they did anything else to get it done. I mean, based on what the Eagles did, I think the Eagles are a considerably better team. That's why I have them 2 wins above the Cowboys. But, you know, the Cowboys, they are a very tough team. They play well at home. They're going to play good against their rivals. So that's why I still have them coming in at a 10-7 winning record, mainly because the other teams in this division are not that good besides the Cowboys and Eagles. With that being said, we got the New York Giants. The New York Giants, you know, key ads, they got Malik Neighbors, Brian Burns, Devin Singletary. Projected record, I had them at 2-15. Let's go ahead and talk about the key ads real quick. Malik Neighbors, they've needed a wide receiver 1 for a while. They haven't had that since Odell left. I feel like Malik Neighbors could be that missing piece for the wide receiving core that they need. When it comes to defense, they went ahead and added Brian Burns. Honestly, did not pay a lot for Brian Burns. Brian Burns is young. He's one of the better edge rushers in football, so I do like the move there. The defense is trending up. I think him and Kayvon Thibodeau on opposite sides will be a very good edge rush with Dexter Lawrence up the middle. So I do think the defensive line is good. And when it comes to running back, they went ahead and added Devin Singletary. Don't get me wrong, Devin Singletary is nowhere near what Saquon was, but to be able to fill in with a guy like Devin Singletary, I don't think that's a bad option. Devin Singletary is consistent, doesn't get hurt. He's a good runner. He's a good passer. The only thing I kind of worry about maybe is his pass blocking, just because he's not exactly the biggest running back. So overall, they went after needs, but they just have so many needs that it's going to be hard to fix it all in 1 year. I do not like Daniel Jones. That's why I have them at a 2-15 record. They lost Darren Waller to retirement. I don't care what you say. Darren Waller is a good tight end. I mean, he had a rough last year. But, I mean, when you're playing with Daniel Jones and then Daniel Jones gets hurt and now you're catching passes from Tommy DeVito, what do you expect? The offensive line's still rough. The defense is trending in the right direction. I'm not ready to say the defense is good yet, but I do like the defensive line. They got a nice young core there on the defensive line. But overall, this is a young team, and I don't believe in the quarterback. So maybe Daniel Jones proves me wrong. Maybe this team will go more than 2 wins. But based on what they got, I'm not seeing it. With that being said, next up, Washington Commanders. Key adds for the Commanders, Jaden Daniels. They went ahead and got the starting center from the Cowboys. And then they also signed Zach Ertz. I have them going 6-11. Talk about the key adds here for a minute. Jaden Daniels, very good quarterback at LSU. He gives you that mobility. I view him as like a Lamar Jackson with a better arm. I think Jaden Daniels will be good. I just think it might take him a year or two to really get the passing down in the NFL, just because he played at LSU. He was thrown to Malik Neighbors. He was thrown to Brian Thomas Jr., 2 first-round picked wide receivers. In the NFL, you're not going to have that. You're going to have less time. You're going to be going against a lot better people. You're not going to have the same talent. So Jaden Daniels, I do think he will be good. I just don't know how well he'll do in his first year. They went ahead, got the center from the Cowboys. If you could take one of their division rivals, better pieces, that's always a good move. And especially on a place like offensive line, they needed a center. They went ahead and got a center. Not only that, he's a veteran. So you got a veteran on a young team. He'll be able to help Jaden Daniels there through the offensive rookie struggles. And, you can never have too much depth at offensive linemen, like I like to say. So you go ahead and get that. And then with Zach Ertz, you get a reliable veteran tight end for your young quarterback. As you guys know, or if you don't, I'll let you know, rookie quarterbacks tend to like tight ends. So I do think Zach Ertz will have a good year. Now, they got rid of Logan Thomas. They did draft a tight end, but I don't know if he's on the same caliber as Zach Ertz, especially here in year 1. When it comes to what they already have, they still got Terry McLaurin, still got Jahan Dotson. The defense, I'm not too sure about the defense. I know the defensive line's good. I know they signed Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner isn't what he used to be. That is a veteran presence on the defense, though. So I do think this team is trending in the right direction. That's why I have them at 6-11. So when it comes to the NFC East, that's all the teams. We covered them all. Go ahead and comment down below. Let us know what you think, who you think will be good, key adds for any of those teams that you think will be interesting. Go ahead and give a projected record if you got any opinions there. Like I was saying at the beginning of the video, check the description for other NFC and AFC reviews. Those will all be linked down in the description. But that's all we got in this video. So if you enjoyed, please remember to like and sub for more Madden content. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.